From his hilarious personality as a kid with godly superpowers to his last movie where he showcased exactly how powerful he is, could Shazam be in James Gunn's DC universe? Well, it'd be awesome if we do see Billy Batson again, that's for sure, especially since Shazam! Fury of the Gods got a lot of positive reviews.
In 1939, Fawcett Comics created a character named Captain Marvel, actually, and that's the origin name of Shazam, and it's a 14-year-old boy named Billy Batson who's a foster kid.
I think most of that credit goes to Zachary Levi for being one of, or the only funny characters coming out of DC Studios. I mean, the guy is on par with some of the funnier Marvel characters too, and that's saying something. So naturally, DC fans have started asking whether or not Shazam will be a part of James Gunn's DCU. Well, we have the answer. The origin story of Billy Batson and his superhero alter ego was released by Warner Brothers back in 2019, and it didn't take it long to become a hit. A lot of people are looking forward to seeing what the lovable character will do next in the wider world of superheroes and villains. But could this character fit into James Gunn's upcoming projects? Well, he's already met up with Superman before, and now he's been face to face with Wonder Woman herself, so we know he'd do just fine with whichever DC hero he's paired up with. I mean, the guy truly showcased his power in his latest movie. That scene when he uses the power of Zeus under the dome Hespera created? Legendary. For those who don't know what I'm talking about or are unfamiliar with Shazam's background, he's just a regular kid from Philadelphia that comes across an ancient wizard who gets entrusted with the powers of the gods. Like, literally. And that too, just by yelling the word Shazam. Pretty much like The Rock and Black Adam. They're both the same thing, but the difference is Billy Batson is just a kid who transforms himself into an adult superhero powered by the gods. Now, his newfound superpowers allow him to fight evil on Earth as well as defend 7 realms of magic located on other planes. I would suppose it's pretty much clear that this character could fit comfortably in any DC universe, but one possible way for Shazam to join the DC Extended Universe.
David Sandberg, my director, and Peter Safran, our producer, and like that they believed in me. They believed in me when I didn't even believe in me, and my whole life has changed because of it.
Would be through The Authority, a team created by Steve Ditko during his run on Hawkman comics in 1959. The team consists of some unlikely heroes such as Dr. Fate, Black Canary, Starman, and Adam Strange. This could give Shazam the perfect opportunity to join forces for a mission set by Batman or Lex Luthor, or literally anybody else really. Not only would this give Shazam the chance to use his newfound superpowers to help save the world from evil forces, this would create interesting dynamics between the characters, and explore new themes within the DC universe. Not only that, but adding Shazam to the mix of characters that make up the Authority could open up so many possibilities for future storylines. I mean, it's so exciting. This would be an interesting development that could add more depth to Shazam's story, adding fuel to the fire. Zack Snyder's Justice League also hinted at setting up the Authority too. Only real DC fans picked it up, but there were hints throughout the film. I mean, remember the conversation Diana had about the existence of a mysterious organization that had been around for a long time? Not to mention, Steppenwolf was working with a higher power. Now, the only explanation is that it had something to do with some of the villains that the Authority would go up against, like Darkseid. This could also explain Steppenwolf's mission on Earth. Needless to say, the Justice League hinted at something bigger and more powerful at play.
Look, I knew enough about the character in the world of Shazam to know that the character of Black Adam is supposed to be his doppelganger, and I knew that The Rock was cast as Black Adam, and so I assumed that they were looking for people that looked identical to The Rock.
But does this mean that Shazam will make his way into any of James Gunn's future projects? Well, that may depend on whether or not Warner Brothers decides to follow up on setting up the Authority. If they do decide to go ahead and move forward with the team, which is highly likely, then there would be room for Shazam to join up. Which makes it even more interesting is that if Shazam were indeed added to the Authority, then he could become something like a mentor figure, and something along those lines could be very cool indeed. On top of this, having Shazam join another group like Jon Stewart's Green Lantern Corps could be pretty awesome too. At this point, it remains unclear if Warner Brothers will move forward with these plans, but one thing I know for sure, no matter what happens, it looks like Zachary Levi will continue playing our beloved hero for quite some time. And let's face it, we wouldn't have it any other way. Many fans are already speculating that Shazam may be part of the now expanded DC universe, especially with James Gunn's upcoming movie slate. Now, this is something that could be pretty cool indeed. All the evidence points towards interesting possibilities for our favorite hero joining forces with Batman and company soon enough, but only time will tell if he manages to be in the new DCU. If Shazam joined the Authority, he could develop and implement a plan to help other heroes tackle threats and save lives. This plan should take into account the strengths of each hero and how they can be used to effectively combat enemies. Shazam would also bring valuable resources such as powerful abilities, tactical battle plans, and an understanding of the intricate workings of the Authority to the table. With his help, these heroes could get access to all that's needed to successfully tackle any threats they encounter. But Shazam will probably have to prove he's worthy first. I mean, he's already a leader of all the other Shazam-powered heroes, so I believe he shouldn't have a problem after this last movie. But one thing's for sure, whenever he gets accepted as a part of the Authority, he could finally start taking part in missions with other DC heroes. It's high time we move past superhero cameos with Shazam. We need the whole deal now. But does he even fit into James Gunn's plans past the Authority? You know, assuming he doesn't make the cut here? Well, on paper, Shazam is the perfect hero for a James Gunn movie. They just go together like peanut butter and jelly. Levi's experience in comedy series like Chuck makes him almost a shoo-in for the role of superhero in a teenager's body.
And I always have a good time catching up with my friends here in the city, and this has just been really dreamy talking about this movie and doing this whole press tour.
Yeah, I really love the movie. I did see quite a few similarities between you and Chuck,
Sure.
in Shazam and
Yeah,
Chuck.
totally.
Yeah.
Plus, anyone who has seen a Guardians of the Galaxy movie or The Suicide Squad will know that it's where Gunn shines. And as it turns out, that his producing partner, Peter Safran, was also onto something when he suggested bringing David F. Sandberg into the DCU fold. With his horror background and penchant for the grotesque and absurd, it looks like these two are destined to be a dream team. So what does this mean for Shazam? Well, at this point, there isn't a ton of information available as far as how all these different projects fit together. We do know that there are superhero movies in the works like Superman, as well as some smaller ones featuring other characters like Swamp Thing. But right now, nothing points to an overarching plan with Shazam in it, although Waller could become important with her involvement in both small and big screen universes. I mean, the post-credit scene at the end of Shazam 2.
You're literally right next door to Studio 54 that I did She Loves Me at. We were right next door. Stage door's right
You're
there.
an old hand, old hand on Broadway.
Yeah.
And of course, people know you from Chuck.
Yeah.
Hints at a potential future. It suggests that he was handpicked by Waller for the Justice Society. This would point towards Shazam being an important part of Gunn's universe. But again, there's still a lot of uncertainty. That being said, I can say that Shazam and company could still play an important part in Gunn's scheme, but it may remain up in the air until further DC projects come to fruition. Until then, let's just hope we don't see Zachary Levi walking away like Henry Cavill.
Yeah, so I do. I have played a lot of video games, and I do love them. I kind of got to a place in my life, work was busy and all that stuff, and I don't know, I think I was playing like the last Zelda. Is anybody gonna get the Switch, by the way? I really want to get that Nintendo Switch. That looks really awesome.
For now, that's it from me about Shazam being in Gunn's DC universe.